Taldans of all walks of life appreciate the arts, giving rise to a myriad of art galleries, bardic colleges, and conservatories across the countryside. Most citizens sing or play an instrument or two, and music competes with alcohol as the surest way to ease a weary farmer's aches. Even small hamlets proudly display works of local artists in their public businesses and governmental facilities, while major cities boast the most respected conservatories in all of Astavan, including the Cathedorian Academy and the Rappacidic College and Opera. Painters, sculptors, and traveling performers like myself make a fine living in Taldor, where even peasants happily part with harder and silver to enjoy a show or decorate their homes with a statuette or a family portrait. The fact that the good roads link most of the cities further encourages such artistic industries among citizens and immigrants alike, and a Taldan is just as likely to encounter a fellow native as an immigrant in one of the many exhibitions, theaters, and temples to shell in the Grace countryside.
Hello, and welcome to another exciting episode of, well, actually, we're just patching this. So, gentlemen, we had Fall deciding to play it safe. Lord Varth has got some gifts from the curator, call me, and Sir Bartholomew, you're, well, the guy left, you intimidated the guy, and you're left standing at that case with Dignity's barb, like, you know better. What are you guys doing?
Well, after I'd done, browbeating this one idiot, where is Varth? He's walking off with that one pretty curator.
He's around in the arcade somewhere.
Oh.
That's where the biggest crowd is.
Yeah, it's a big place.
All right. I want to walk off trying to find Varth, but in my back of my mind, I have, the Imperial March playing. Because I got a cape and it's swooshing. I feel so badass right now.
Okay. I've placed the minis relative to where we'd left the story with you guys. So,
I wander till my mini meets his mini.
Okay.
And our minis touch. Just on the edge.
And your beards never touch?
No!
Hitler and
Never cross the beards.
Never cross the beards?
He doesn't know. He's unbearded.
All right. Since I owed Bartholomew a bunch of time, because the theft and everything took a while.
Browbeating takes its time to sink in. It's an educational process. It worked for me.
Taking your lap, Bartholomew, you eventually spot them in the north section, speaking with the curator, a small crowd. And since you instinctively went the long way around, through a whole bunch of people, they're kind of coming at you now in the northwestern part of the Arcade of Triumph. What do you do?
Varth.
Bartholomew, we were just talking about you.
I knew my ears were ringing for a good reason.
All lies, I assure you. All lies. I'll move over towards Varth. Where have the rest of our group gone?
They wandered off, actually, while I was correcting some peasant about one of the artifacts that's being held here. Someone clearly mistook Dignity's barb for the Holy Screamer.
Knowledge history, Frank? Lord Varth. Fall. Yep, he's going on about a famous weapon. See if you guys ever heard of it.
I don't have knowledge history.
Okay.
I don't either.
I'm pretty sure I'm the only member of the party that does.
And you're in the middle of a child's play.
Yep.
What have we learned about splitting up the party, gentlemen?
Do it, always.
So, best wingman ever.
So again, the Holy Screamer lives.
I'm still waiting for that 20 to make it pop into existence.
It does exist.
What do you want to do, boys? Gentlemen.
So I think I will excuse myself from the curator. What was her name? Val?
Copernina Val.
Miss Val, thank you for your time and showing us all of these wonderful treasures. But if you don't mind me, I'm afraid that I must rejoin the group. Can't have them wandering too far, and I'll move towards...
Okay. She extends her hand, like she already gave you the gifts and trinkets, and is, of course, my lord, you have a busy night ahead of you. Thank you so much for taking the time and interest. Peace out, as we say in the business.
Peace out.
Sorry, I was choking on something.
Mm-hmm. Fafal, do we see any people of interest, trying to be sly about the words targets?
I am not sure what you mean, my lord.
Each of us was tasked with someone. Do we see them? Should we begin to actually do our job? And I'll kind of stroll lazily around the corner, looking for anyone of note.
What are you doing with that swagger? Why are you walking like that? That's weird. Stop that. No, you're not supposed to talk about it like that.
I just want to make sure it really is that bad.
The next podcast we do, I'll never let anyone break character. You'll have to be very clever about it.
17 perception.
All right.
And I got a 13.
Well, it's not hard to spot the most, shall we say, impressive figure in the room. Not impressive that he looks better than everybody else. Impressive that he has the most people trying to suck up to him, as it were.
Oh, we hear the sound of like a Hoover vacuum? What is that large sucking sound that I hear?
You role-playing.
Ouch.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud? I meant...
Oh, dude.
You
ouch.
role-playing.
Almost as bad as an echo chamber.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
There he is. Maxilar Pytharius in all of his glory. The man who besmirched your family name, Bartholomew. Samish is going right for him with Fafal in tow.
Pyrus?
Pytharius.
Pytharius? Yeah. No, I call him
The guy
Pyrus.
responsible for your disgrace.
Oh, that little son of a bitch.
How dare that guy?
All right, I'm saying flank on Varth, but my hand is on my sword, and it's very clenchy, and it's
very clenchy.
Very clenchy. Not in that kind of way yet.
Not in a sphincter kind of clenchy way.
No sphincters are clenching, but more like before I kind of had like a badass feel with the Empire March in the background. Now it's like just blared up to like an 11, and I'm going, if I just one swing, that's done.
Yes, you'd go from a disgraced noble to a noble in a surprise round of combat that you could drop this guy in one swing.
Yep, I did not think. No,
that's clear. You're not thinking.
Sorry, I wouldn't say surprise round.
But notice that the sword is staying in the sheath.
Yes, because it's peacebound there, and it would take a full round action to remove it. Got to mention that as well.
So as I'm kind of hanging back there, the crowd that's kind of sucking up, I want to take a measure of them. I mean, exactly how are they trying to suck up? Are they mentioning anything in particular? Like the curator was very cued in on people that were interested in history. I mean, are anybody in particular trying to flirt with him in those kinds of ways?
Sense motive, sir?
See what my sense motive is. Hey, it's pretty good. So I have a +7 on sense motive. Go ahead and roll here. 27. Natural.
Wow.
They're all fishing for his opinions. Where does he stand on the vote? Where does he stand on fashion? And trying to readily agree, hence, gaining his trust and influence with whatever opinion he might say. The man actually, he looks like he's fulfilling his role. He looks a little bored, but he's nodding, he's being polite, but he's certainly not taking this time to be like, this is what I believe, quite loudly at the top of my military pipes. There are a lot of people are up, but they're all trying to, you can tell they're tag teaming him, surrounded by people. One lady in particular is doing it with a lot more style and subtlety, you notice, than the rest of them. It's not what he's saying, but she'll ask a question subtly, and it's the face he makes where it's like, well, it's something he is considering. It's the proverbial what he's not saying, that kind of thing. I'm not the GM is not saying that he's very readable, but this one, shall we say, noble lady is, doing better than the rest, but he's being pretty stoic at the moment. as you begin your mission, keeping an eye on him.
Read the crowd, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Fafal.
If there's an opportunity, I will try to, chime in if I can manage to sound intelligent about it.
Sure. Fafal. Sense motive?
Yes, I will give a sense motive, and also I will be nodding to my lord, Samish, as kind of an indication of you go in, try and talk to him, I'll slip in behind and to the side and keep a good ear out. Because we know our mission with him. Like, we know it's Pytharius, right?
Well, that's a very good question. With your 17, I'll give you most of what I just told Frank. You can see how they're working him and they're trying, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
As far as the man himself, I would like, knowledge and ability would be very helpful if either one of you or the three of you have that.
Yes,
knowledge local would be about his deeds. Knowledge and ability would be about the man himself.
All right, knowledge and ability 15.
Okay. And you guys want to have a stab? This is one of the few skills that they have, so you got to give them a chance there, Fafal.
20.
Are you guys were you two aiding each other, or like Bartholomew's going to go alone? But
Bartholomew has no knowledge skills.
okay.
I'm actually already like on the opposite side of Pytharius, so we wouldn't be aiding each other for this check. I had already started to move.
Right. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong mini here.
No, you're good.
Right.
You're good. But
Bartholomew's on his flank, right?
When you're dealing with somebody like that, you don't always want to be known immediately for associating with someone when they're distracting them. Because it's like, if you see two people walk up to you and then one person flanks you, you get real uneasy. Fafal knows this. That's why he broke off as soon as they got in the room. Slipped around the side.
So, 15 and 20 for your sense motive?
No,
right?
knowledge and ability.
Oh, knowledge and ability. Sorry, what were your... we just had the one sense motive. We had a 27 and a 17, right? Sorry, right. Okay. I'm just, everything's relevant. I'm just trying to track this as well, because it's like this, unlocking doors and, influence and things. What do we know about the man himself? Okay, well, let's start with the 15. He is, in gaming terms, he's a Cavalier. He is the man of Opera. High Stragios Maxillar Pytharius. High Stragios, meaning, big commander of big army that we have, as it were. Every Taldarian, nearly every Taldarian, recognizes the commander-in-chief. He is Grand Prince Stavian's right hand and a fanatical supporter of the throne. This guy believes in political might and economic stability through military supremacy. Dude wants to get shit done with the Iron Fist.
Unfortunately, he sucks.
Lord Varth, in tighter circles, with your knowledge and nobility, a little bit more elitist, that he has been, in the last couple of years, constantly advocating for new wars of conquest against the wayward colonies like Andoran and Cheliax and even Kadira again. This guy wants to bring back the glory days, and now we had 7 wars of expansion that just covered the top corner of the Inner Sea region. Maxillar is a muscular man in his early 40s. Years under the elements have weathered his skin, and he keeps his silvery hair closely cropped. He wears green and blue tabard, emblazoned with the Taldor official coat of arms, because we have the green and blue field with the gold lion on it, is our symbol of state, as it were. So it basically publicly says, I am for the nation, more than anything else. He's wrapped himself in the flag, as opposed to a family crest or, a little mini crown. He has a reputation, gentlemen, for being direct and confident, and he'll cut to the heart of any topic. And he doesn't really like politics. He would much rather focus on matters of military and strategic concern. You would guess, again, the final ringing out drop of that 20, that his presence here really is just a formality. He would probably much rather be inspecting troops or training on horseback himself than being here smoozing with everybody. Now, every man has a weakness. Now, as I said before, there are rooms to influence, there are NPCs to meet, which will help you, there are major events that are going to pop up, and then there are major NPCs. One happens to be related to your mission, so we've dug them up a little early. Everybody has a weakness, gentlemen. And if you can figure those out, it'll help you influence him much greater or quicker than just kind of, hey, look at my acrobatics. No, you don't like that? Hey, look at my, use magical device. You don't like that? Hey, where are you going? Oh, there goes my shot. That kind of thing.
So he's directly involved with my trait.
Yeah, he's the reason he called your dad out on something.
So...
well, I think that deserves a cutscene. When we get to see a young, pimply Sir Bartholomew learning horseback riding, all kinds of things. This is an old disgrace. Goes back a couple of years.
I just figured out the name of our new meeting spot tavern.
What's that?
The Pimply Half-Orc.
Oh, nice. Good night, everybody.
The Pimple Dork.
No!
The scene pulls away rapidly from modern-day Opera into the sky, and the globe of Galarian rotates backwards. Years slip back into the past, and we come down through the clouds, breaking on a slightly younger Taldor, overlooking vast tracts of land, some owned by the Starborn family, the Vort family, the Briarsmith family, Lossus, Tark, Solari, Fabian, Cirrus, Q, Tiberian. The list goes on. Even the Princess Eutropia. And of course, the mighty family that bears the name Pytharius. It is within these lands that a large estate owned by the Dunneldagen family lay, far to the north. We come upon a scene where a tall, slim, greenish-brown tinge-skinned teenage boy who is now only experiencing his 13th summer. He rides bareback on a fine steed, doing laps in an enclosed compound, circling a stablemaster and horse trainer. The scene pulls back to a balcony overlooking the back of the entire estate. Two men stand within the shadow of the balcony. A conversation about riding, etiquette, and the future of the son of Dunneldagen. Meanwhile, the lad, what he lacks in skill, he certainly makes up in enthusiasm, vigor, and tenacity. Lap after lap, as the trainer calls to him, correcting him on his stance, on his posture, on his technique, telling him that he must control the animal, that when atop a mount, one must assume the role of master immediately. As the lesson continues, the scene floats back to the balcony, where at a distance, both men begin to argue, one unimpressed with the young boy's training, his progress, and his sullied heritage. A proud father defends his son and demands an apology. A slightly younger Maxillar Pytharius states his disapproval openly, refuses to endorse the man's son, and as lord of the land insists on an ultimatum, states his intent or disgrace will befall the Dunneldagen name. Lord Dunneldagen, steely-eyed, sets his jaw, and for the sake of his only son, stares the man down, and for the sake of his honor and his son's dignity, vehemently refuses. Lord Maxillar Pytharius turns on his heel and marches off the balcony and leaves the Dunneldagen estate, never to return. Now, a weary father leans out, gripping the stone edge of the railing on the balcony, and hangs his head low for a moment, sighing in resignation at the prospect of his son's future being far bleaker than he had hoped.
Ah, my son, you are a child born of love. You were not supposed to carry the Dunneldagen name, but you wear it proudly. and I am sure you will bring us honor.
The young boy, nearing the end of his lesson, catches sight of his father out on the edge of the balcony and steers his mount towards the edge of the compound and calls out to his father hopefully.
Father,
Did you see me ride?
unsaddled? Do you see how the stallion now
Responds to me?
Lord Donaldagan can't help but smile sheepishly down at his son's enthusiasm, and an ever so slight nod given from his father sets the boy's heart alight as he canters his steed away, fully convinced that the future holds great prospects. Well, hold on a minute. Now, as much fun as it would be to leave the episode off on this uptick of champagne wishes and cavalier dreams, there's more going on. And, we're only halfway through our episode. Gentlemen, before we have a chance to directly influence, or uninfluence, a major NPC, certain events occur here during the gala. One in particular, you notice, there's a swelling of a crowd that just sort of empties half of the gallery and heads towards the courtyard. This is giving you some obvious indication that something of note is about to happen. As we proceed there, including your target, Maxillar Pytharis, drifts along with them, we see dozens of senators, well-wishers, and hanger-ons have begun to gather around what, yes, a newly arrived Princess Eutropia Stavian, who seems to have slipped into the gala unnoticed before now and unannounced. By the time you arrive, the princess has attracted a rather large gaggle of several dozen nobles. She stands on the south side of the courtyard. Fafal perhaps would recognize Lady Gloriana Marilla, who is now loudly clinking her glass and declares that Princess Eutropia would like to address the gathering. With this announcement, you see the crowd gives Eutropia a little bit of space, and Gloriana helps the princess climb right up onto the garden's stone railing so that she can be seen and heard above the throngs.
My friends, colleagues, and assorted enemies, it is wonderful to see you all out in your finery beneath the beautiful stars tonight. With any luck, the weather will be the only thing that refuses to change this evening. We have all gathered here tonight to honor Master Calbio of Breezy Creek, a master artisan and true patriot for his exquisite skill and service to our glorious empire. Master Calbio demonstrates so eloquently that a heart may be noble regardless of the stature of one's birth. And while it may be premature, I hope to be the first to congratulate you, sir, on the exaltation you will see tonight, and welcome you into the ranks of Taldor's long-lived aristocracy. But we gather here to discuss matters of state as well. And just as the exaltation reminds us that our glorious empire must always look out into the world to refresh the greatness of its leadership, we must all look out into the world around us and see how it has grown. The child nations our empire birthed, Andoran, Cheliax, Lastwall, have grown strong by examining the great traditions they have inherited from our motherland and embracing those relevant to this new world, and discarding those that held them back. So too will we, this very night, examine one of Taldor's oldest traditions. Primogeniture, with eyes wide open, to determine whether it has held us back from the glory and stability our wayward states have found. Our obligation tonight is not about one person or one vote in the Senate. It is about the nation we love and about ensuring that nation does not fall behind the times. We are the inheritors of mighty Aslant, and I say that we must work together to avoid sharing that old empire's fate. Taldor endures!